Hi everybody, Mr. Tom again. We're back to read another chapter of our book, Penguin Puzzle, and we're almost done with our book. We're up to chapter 8. Do you remember what happened in chapter 7? Uncle Cecil, who had turned himself into a penguin to look for all of Miss Frizzle's class that were also turned into penguins. Remember, he accidentally sprayed them with a secret formula and they're all penguins right now? But Uncle Cecil couldn't find him, and that's how we ended chapter 7, and we're still looking for him. So we've got our friend Pete the Penguin here. Maybe he can help us find Miss Frizzle's class. After all, he is a penguin. He probably knows where penguins hang out. So we'll get started with chapter 8, and we'll read it and find out what happened to Miss Frizzle's class. All right, let's get started. Back at camp, Miss Frizzle saw a big emperor penguin waddling toward the tent, alone. "Cecil, where are they?" she called out. "I couldn't find them," Uncle Cecil answered. "There are Adelie penguins everywhere." "I'm not going to give up," said the Frizz. She ran over to the magic school bus, climbed inside, and started the engine. There was a loud roar. The magic school bus was at it again. A big propeller popped out of the top. The treads turned into skis, and the snowmobile turned into a snow helicopter. Isn't a magic school bus cool? It can turn into anything. Miss Frizzle sat in the cockpit. She motioned to Uncle Cecil. "We're going on a search mission." Uncle Cecil waddled over to the helicopter door and hopped inside. Then, with a roar of the engine, the helicopter took off. It flew straight up into the clear Antarctic air. Miss Frizzle flew out above the ice shelf. Okay, there's a picture of the Magic School Bus helicopter. And she's flying up over the penguins because they're searching for all the students. Okay? "Where did you last see the kids, Cecil?" Miss Frizzle asked. "I was right behind a pile of rocks," said Uncle Cecil. "It was right down there, a bit behind us." The Frizz made a loop in the sky with the helicopter. Then she zoomed down to the rocks and hovered for a minute. "Do you see them anywhere?" she asked. Uncle Cecil was sticking his penguin head out the window. He shook it sadly. "Nope." "Let's see. Where else would I go if I were a penguin?" Miss Frizzle asked. She sighted the end of the ice shelf hanging over the water. She gained some altitude and flew over the water. "There are hundreds and hundreds of penguins down there," Uncle Cecil said. "How are we going to find them?" "Not to worry, Cecil," the Frizz exclaimed. "We'll find them." She dropped the helicopter bus lower in the sky. The penguins on the ice became excited by the noise. They milled around, looking up. Suddenly, the Frizz let out a gasp. "Look, Cecil! Down to the right." 8 Adelie penguins were staring up at the bus helicopter, and they had human faces. "We found them!" Uncle Cecil yelled. And there's a picture. See all the students? They're still penguins, though. The 8 of the kid penguins were staring up at the sky with big smiles. "They found us!" We watched Miss Frizzle bring the bus helicopter down on the ice. All the other penguins ran away in every direction, but we were hopping up and down with joy. "Miss Frizzle, Miss Frizzle," Dorothy Ann yelled out with relief. "Uncle Cecil," I called out. "Is that you?" Uncle Cecil ran up to me and gave me a big penguin hug. "Come on," the Frizz said. "Hop into the bus helicopter. I'll fly you back to camp." "But I can't leave," Arnold said. "I'm stuck on one of these eggs until my mate comes back." "Arnold," Miss Frizzle said. "I'm not really her mate," Arnold said, "but I can't leave the egg until it hatches. The chick could die." Just then, there was a pecking noise. Arnold looked down at one of the eggs. A little bill was sticking out of the egg. A minute later, more of the shell cracked open and a little flipper stuck out. Oh, it's hatching, I said. Move over a little, Arnold. Arnold moved aside so we could all watch the baby penguin hatch. Soon it was free of its shell. Just then, its mother waddled up to the nest. She pushed Arnold aside and took over her baby. Okay. There's Miss Frizzle, Uncle Cecil, all the students. There's Arnold, and look, there's the baby chick right there, just hatched out. From Uncle Cecil's facts about penguins, most Adelie penguins incubate 2 eggs at a time. The little chicks hatch out more or less at the same time. One is usually stronger than the other and has a better chance of survival. When first born, the chicks are kept warm by their parents, but after 2 or 3 weeks, they develop a thick, woolly, gray down feathers. Then they can join other chicks in groups. I think it's time to leave, Arnold, Miss Frizzle said with a twinkle in her eye. But congratulations on your baby chick. Miss Frizzle climbed into the bus helicopter. We all followed. It was crowded inside with 9 penguins. The bus helicopter zoomed up into the sky. Whew, I'm getting hot in here, Arnold said. Those feathers are great for icy weather, Uncle Cecil said, but they are too much for inside. And we can't take off our coats, Tim complained. By the time the bus helicopter landed back at camp, we penguins were steaming warm. We couldn't wait to get back into the ice-cold air. After everyone piled out of the bus helicopter, Uncle Cecil pulled on my flipper. Phoebe, look, he said, pointing to the floor of the bus. A layer of penguins' feathers was scattered on the floor. We had been shedding our feathers in the heat. I got an idea, Uncle Cecil said. Let's all go in the tent. But it's hot in there, Arnold complained. Exactly, said Uncle Cecil. We went inside the tent, and I started sweating even more in my penguin suit. Will we be penguins forever? Wanda asked Miss Frizzle. As soon as Arnold heard that, he started to cry. I don't want to live in a zoo, he sobbed. Sure, our parents would come to visit us, wouldn't they? Tim said. I just want to be my old self, Arnold said. I think you're in luck, Arnold, Uncle Cecil said. Take a look at the floor. All of us kid penguins looked down at our feet. There were heaps of feathers and drops of oil all around us. The best news is that we had our real feet back, and we were turning back into human beings again. Yippee, Carlo said. I don't want to wear that penguin suit anymore. I ran up and hugged Uncle Cecil. He was back to his old self, too. The heat must have reversed the effects of my magic formula, Uncle Cecil said. Thank goodness. What will we do with your secret formula now, Cecil? Dorothy Ann asked. It's all gone. And I don't think I'm going to make any more. Don't mess with Mother Nature. But what about your work with penguins? I asked. I'll keep studying them. I want to do as much as I can to protect them in the wild, Uncle Cecil said. They are fascinating birds. Start packing your things, Miss Frizzle said. We're going home. Everyone cheered. Yay! Especially the 8 of us who had been penguins. We had been worried there for a while. Antarctica is a nice place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there. Miss Frizzle led us outside. The magic school bus had transformed into the magic school jet again. We pulled down the tent and packed everything inside. We made sure we left Antarctica just as clean as we found it. Then we got inside the jet and took off. As we flew over the ice shelf, we waved goodbye to all the penguins. It looked like they were waving their flippers back at us. This is one adventure we will never forget. All right, that's the end of Chapter 8. We're up to Chapter 9. We'll save the conclusion for later when they're back in class, okay? All right, great job. And I think we have to thank Pete for helping us find the penguin kids. Thanks, Pete. He says you're welcome. All right, good job.